pancetta risotto. Now there's a vegetable that I think there's something truly amazing about. So one vegetable we can use for a soup, we can use it for lots of wonderful casserole dishes. Great as a vegetable dish cooked up with garlic and whatever flavour you want to give it. And even better, it's lovely if you want to turn it into that really nice spicy pumpkin pie. But as a pumpkin risotto we're going to make one of those sort of trendy recipes that you can make in the one pan, quick and convenient to make. And again, with the help of my steaming hot water tap and my food waste disposal unit, I'll be able to get rid of all the bits and pieces that I don't need rather than pop them into the bin. Got a pumpkin here. I'm going to use this not only to make this risotto, but I'm also going to use the pumpkin as the serving dish. So what you need to do firstly is to chop the top off the pumpkin. Some of them can be quite firm and you buy them early on in the season, but they'll soften up and they'll ripen as the season goes on. Chop the lid off it, and then when you've taken the lid out, you'll find an absolutely massive seeds right in the inside of it. Scoop the seeds out, and then either using a knife or a spoon, depending on how ripe your pumpkin is, just scoop all that flesh out of the pumpkin. Takes a bit of time because you need to be careful that you don't put your knife through the shell of the pumpkin, otherwise the flavour is going to flow out whenever you have this served up. So take your time at this, get all the flesh out, and then just chop it up into nice little chunks, just like that there. The seeds, you can keep them if you want, you can dry them, you can do all sorts of things with them. But I'm going to get the best of the flavour out of this pumpkin because I'm going to roast it in the oven just for about 30 minutes at 200 degrees centigrade, that's gas mark 6, with a little bit of garlic, a little bit of wine, a little bit of oil. That'll really bring the flavour out of it. Now risotto is a fabulous dish, made with arborio rice, that lovely rice that just cooks up beautifully, gives you that lovely creamy texture. And again, with the steaming water tap, this is why I find it really, really good. It's great for pastas, it's great for rice dishes, it's great for something like this risotto. We're starting off over here in the pan. While the pumpkin's roasting in the oven, I'm just going to add a little bit of oil to the pan. To that I'm going to add an onion, and look, just peel the skin off the onion, and then keep all these peelings because these will go into my food waste disposal unit. I'm going to chop the onion up quite finely. A little bit of garlic, you can either use chopped garlic or you can use roasted garlic. It's lovely to roast garlic in the oven. You can just take a whole bulb of garlic, just put it into the oven, a little bit of foil, leave it to roast. I'm using chestnut mushrooms, got about 8 ounces there. Just peel the skin off those, take those stalks off, they too can go into my waste disposal unit, and then just chop those up into nice chunky slices. I've got here a couple of spring onions, they're great for colour in this dish, and a little bit of pancetta. Now that's a lovely bacon that's going to give such flavour to this dish. And then start off just giving those a nice initial cooking. And I love these sorts of dishes where you cook them all in the one pan. This is sort of modern day convenient cooking. People are looking for life to be simpler in the kitchen, looking for things that happen nice and easily, and best of all if you can, all in one pot. This is where my steaming hot water tap's just invaluable because I'm going to need some stock as well. And again, rather than making stock, I'm just going to use a stock cube. Just stock cube into the jug, turn on the steaming hot water tap, and instantly, look, there's the boiling water coming out. Temperature up to 98 degrees centigrade. No need to waste time waiting for the kettle to make a din in the background and bubble away. So this is ideal. Once we've got the stock, just start and slowly add the rice to the pan. Drag all those lovely vegetables and the bacon just to one side. Say one pot cooking. This is what cooking's all about today. And then just cook. Add a little of extra oil, add a little bit of extra wine, then add a little bit of the stock. But you've got to keep repeating this process. Don't be tempted to put all your rice in at once because it simply doesn't work. Once you sort of feel you're within about 5 minutes of the rice being cooked, then we're going to add that lovely pumpkin that's been roasting in the oven. Look at the pieces, they've just now intensified in flavour, they've roasted there with that little bit of garlic. So we're going to just tip all the lovely pumpkin pieces in over the top of the risotto. Just mix it round nice and lightly and just take time just to sort of reduce the temperature down, adjust the sort of the texture of this with a little extra stock. If you need to go back to your steaming water tap, absolutely do, get a little bit more stock, it can just happen in a moment's notice. And also, while this is cooking away, you'll have time just to go to your food waste disposal unit, take all those peelings that we have. Again, if you happen to roast your pumpkin and you've lots of pumpkin flesh left over or the skin on the outside of it, that too will go down your food disposal unit. Because just turn on the tap, let the water run for a moment, put all the bits of flesh that you have into that, just press them down in. Once it's finished, then just let the water run for a few more minutes and then turn it off. So now back to the risotto. We're ready to finish this off. To me that looks just about ready. The pancetta's cooked, the vegetables are nice. Don't overcook that lovely pumpkin flesh. I've got a little bit of herb butter here, which is just 25 grams of butter mixed with a little bit of whatever seasonal herb you want to use. I'm using that lovely Italian flat leaf parsley. It sort of works really well with this. Chop up the parsley a little bit, just mix it with butter in a bowl and then put it into just a little bit of greaseproof paper or into cling film and just leave it to sit in your fridge until it firms up. And then for the final stages of the risotto, you can just take a good sharp knife, and if you happen to have left your butter in the fridge that it's too firm, another great use of your steaming water tap is just run your hot knife below the tap and you'll find that it's going to heat your knife up, and then you can just cut lovely little fine slices of the butter, then just add them to the risotto a little bit at the time, let it melt down into it until you get a fabulous texture, and there we are. That's the risotto almost ready. Now to serve it up, I'm going to use the pumpkin shell, and you can use your steaming hot water tap for this as well, because in order to sterilize it, you can just run the water inside the pumpkin, just sterilize it on the inside, take anything out of that, just shake it upside down, leave it to dry for a few minutes, or if you like, you can put it into the oven just to let it get a nice sort of crispy shell on the inside. I'm going to serve the risotto inside this because I think it just looks really, really nice. If it's that Halloween party outside with the fireworks going off, if it's a casual dinner party, or if it's just something you just want to do that little bit special for your family at this time of the year, it looks really good. So then just spoon all that lovely risotto into the pumpkin, fill it right up to the top, garnish it with a little bit of parmesan shavings, a little bit more flat leaf parsley. So there you are, pumpkin risotto. I think it looks fabulous, served in its own shell. And this is a great dish, served at any time of the year. Underneath this video, you can find the recipe, including the ingredients and method on how to make this dish.